ahora sí. Chicos, bienvenidos. Estamos en Metal Gear Solid 3 Subsistence, ¿vale? Estamos en el disco número 1. No sé cuándo tendré que insertar el disco 2, que no voy a insertar nada porque es un emulador de Play 2 que se ve bastante bien porque he modificado los gráficos un poquito y lo rescara bastante bien. Así que vamos a darle... Ahí vaya, le di la X. Vamos a darle cañita. Es que en este juego, para darle a la X, a accionar algo, tiene que ser el círculo, ¿vale? No tiene que ser la X. A ver, español y exit. Vale, nueva partida. No juego nada, ¿eh? Simplemente lo he probado un poquito. Y ya está. Vamos a jugar en normal. Y vamos a dar caña. Tiene un montón de cinemáticas, aviso. Y voy a dejarlas todas.
After the end of World War II, the world was split into two, East and West. This marked the beginning of the era called the Cold War.
Esto lo jugaba yo con 12 años, 9. No lo juego desde aquella, Sobre todo el 3 es el que menos recuerdo. El 2 me lo he pasado un montón de veces, al igual que el 4, y el 5 lo tengo ahí a medias porque no me mola mucho. No me mola mucho.
Approaching Soviet airspace.
20 minutes to drop off.
Commencing internal depressurization. Equipment check. Arm main parachute.
All right. You ready to go?
Drop zone still showing a high pressure mass. Cav okay.
Si escucháis un poco raros, pero el emulador, ¿vale? Que tiene que arrancar bien y todo eso. Vale. Pero funcionará. He hecho pruebas y bastante bien. Tengo que hacer un par de ajustes ahí y lo tendríamos perfecto.
Connecting oxygen hose to interior connector. Put on your mask. Does this panty waste know what he's doing?
Approaching release point.
10 minutes to drop off.
Hey, are you deaf?
He said put out the cigar and put on your mask.
Vale, en teoría va un poquito mejor.
Depressurization complete.
Checking oxygen supply.
6 minutes to drop off. Opening rear hatch.
Vale, igual la vea, ¿vale? Que se la tira de la vida.
Sunrise. Al principio, ¿vale? Hasta que cargue todo bien.
External temperature minus 46 degrees Celsius. 2 minutes to drop off. Stand up.
You'll be falling at 130 miles per hour. Try not to get frostbite from the wind chill.
1 minute to drop off. Move to the rear.
Activate bail-out bottle.
This is one for the history books. The world's first halo jump.
10 seconds to drop off. Stand by.
Vale, a ver si pasa esta cinemática ya y para de ralentizarse.
Status okay. All green.
Prepare for drop-off. Countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ahora al tirarse como va.
Spread your wings
Igual que ahora sea todo y va a la mierda.
God
¿sabes?
be with you.
Cuando va y rompe el ordenador y explota todo. Bueno, no ralentiza tanto como pensaba. Está bien. Eso sí, como siga así, tengo que hacer una cosa en el ordenador, un pequeño ajuste para que funcione todo al máximo, porque lo tengo en modo así estándar.
Jack, I've got some important news.
Vale, ya va guay.
The head of the CIA has finally given us the green light for the virtuous mission.
Virtual mission?
No, the virtuous mission. The future of our Fox unit depends on it. If it succeeds, we'll be officially organized into a unit.
Virtuous mission? Sounds like some kind of initiation ritual.
You know, don't get cocky. This isn't a training op.
Right. So what exactly is this wonderful mission?
Well, about 2 years ago, a certain Soviet scientist requested
acuerdo de
asylum
nada,
in
de
the West
nada.
through one of our moles.
Es que yo
His
pequeño
name is
era
Nikolai
idiota
Stepanovich Sokolov.
y pasaba las
He's head of the
cinemáticas. ¿sabes?
OKB-754 Design Bureau, one of the Soviets' top-secret weapon research facilities, and the East's foremost expert on weapons development.
Sokolov. Isn't he that famous rocket scientist?
The very same. On April the 12th, 1961, the Soviets achieved the first manned spaceflight in history.
The Earth was blue, but there was no God.
Well spoken. The rocket that carried Yuri Gagarin to orbit was the A-1, known as the Vostok rocket. Sokolov is said to be the man most responsible for the multi-engine cluster used in that rocket. After Gagarin's flight, Sokolov left rocket development to become the head of the newly established Design Bureau.
From a lowly technician to head of a design bureau, that's quite a success story, so why do you want to defect?
It seems he'd become afraid of his own creations.
Afraid?
Call it a crisis of conscience.
And for that, he left his country and his family behind and went over the fence?
Not exactly. One of his conditions was that his family was also to be taken safely to the West. We used a mole to get the family out first and succeeded in sneaking Sokolov over the Berlin Wall shortly afterwards. I was the one who conducted the operation.
The security on the eastern side was still full of holes back then. Then what?
We got Sokolov over in one piece, but the whole ordeal had left him exhausted, and we checked him into a hospital in West Berlin. It took him 2 weeks and more than 600 miles to get from the research facility in the Soviet Union to Berlin. He was in no condition to say anything coherent. And it was only a week later that we had something much bigger on our hands.
The Cuban Missile Crisis.
October the 16th, 1962,
Cómo mola esto,
President
tío.
Kennedy
Estoy
received
aquí, eso es
word
lo
that the
que quiero
Soviets
que
were in the
escuchéis bien
process of
todo.
deploying intermediate-range ballistic missiles in
Cómo
Cuba.
mola, tío. Mola un montón.
The President demanded that the Soviets dismantle and remove the missiles. At the same time, he announced a naval blockade to prevent further missile shipments from reaching Cuba. But the Soviets didn't back down, instead placing their armed forces on secondary alert. Soviet transport ships carrying missiles continued on course towards Cuba. US and Soviet forces went on alert for an all-out nuclear war. Frantic negotiations were conducted through the UN's Emergency Security Council and unofficial channels to end the hair-trigger standoff. Finally, on October the 28th, the Soviet Union agreed to remove its missiles from Cuba, and so the world avoided a nuclear holocaust. But in order to get the Soviets to pull their missiles out, we had to make a deal.
You mean the one where the US agreed to remove its IRBMs from Turkey?
No. The Jupiter IRBMs deployed in Turkey were obsolete, and we were going to get rid of them anyway. They had no strategic value whatsoever to either the US or the Russians. The Turkey deal was a ruse, a cover story that was fed to the other intelligence agencies around the world.
So what did the Russians really want?
Sokolov. They wanted us to return Sokolov.
You mean the Soviets pulled out of Cuba just to get their hands on Sokolov?
That's right.
What the hell was he working on?
At the time, we had no idea. We were running out of time. It was either give up Sokolov or risk full-scale nuclear war. In the end, we had no choice. President Kennedy gave in to Khrushchev's demand. The next day, I got Sokolov out of the hospital, handing him over to agents on the eastern side. Sokolov kept on screaming, "Save me," until he disappeared from my sight. Then a month ago, we received some new information from one of our moles.
About Sokolov?
Yes. He was taken back to the research facility and forced to continue working on the weapon in question under KGB supervision. What's more, it's on the verge of completion.
So what kind of weapon is it? Something to do with space rockets?
No, missiles.
Same technology.
I guess you're right. We don't know the details, but it appears to be a new kind of nuclear device. For half a year now, the Soviets have been conducting frequent nuclear tests at Semipalatinsk.
Something to do with the weapon, I assume.
We're talking about a secret weapon so big that Khrushchev was ready to pull out of Cuba to get it back.
Is Sokolov still in the facility?
No, according to our intelligence, he's in Selinoyarsk, a place in the mountains about 3 miles to the west that's known as the Virgin Cliffs.
The Virgin Cliffs. Nice name for a virtuous mission.
They moved him there just recently.
Why?
Apparently, they're conducting a field test of the weapon, but it's our best chance to get him back. This mission would never have been possible if he was still in the research facility. This is our last chance. Sokolov must have known that too when he contacted us.
Vale. Pues tenemos que ir a por Sokolov, chicos. A rescatarlo, en teoría. Bastante bien ya, Se nota un montón que ha cargado todo bien ya. Es que a veces le cuesta un poco el emulador.
Listen up, Jack. Your mission is to infiltrate Selinoyarsk in the Soviet mountains, ensure the safety of Sokolov, and bring him back to the west. If we don't get Sokolov back before that weapon is complete, we'll be facing a major crisis. The clock is ticking. Once we've confirmed the rescue of Sokolov, stand by at the recovery point. A recovery balloon will be dropped at that point. Helium will be pumped into the balloon to inflate it. The process takes about 20 minutes. Once it's complete, the gunship's arm will latch onto the balloon and pull it up.
The Fulton surface-to-air recovery system. I'm familiar with the theory.
Take it easy.
Hostia, cuando sale el avión se le haga un montón.
Combat proof.
Do you think Sokolov is up to it?
The shock will be less than during a parachute jump, and the arm can handle up to 500 pounds.
So you're planning on going over the border in a single combat talent?
She's equipped with 2 6-barrel 20mm Vulcan cannons, as well as 2 40mm machine guns.
Sounds like she could hold her own against a battalion of tanks.
Even with the fuel in the reserve tank, we're facing a 4-hour time limit. If all goes well, it shouldn't take more than a few hours.
Home in time for dinner.
But if anything goes wrong,
You'll be eating dinner, breakfast,
and all the rest of your meals in the jungle.
No recuerdo por qué se miran así en plan de... No sé, está bien. Vamos allá. Es como si fuera nuevo para mí el juego. A ver, recuerdo cosas. Tengo en la mente escenas, pero nada de... No me acuerdo de nada. De nada. Aquí la guerra también, lo que veo. la mochila, es verdad. Que sí, quedaba ahí atrapada. Bueno, chicos, comienza la fiesta. Comienza la aventura de Snake, también conocido como Big Boss. Es un genio, tío. Es un genio. Es el mejor personaje que han hecho jamás en los videojuegos. Jamás. La mejor saga para mí, sin ninguna duda. Para mí, repito. Recuerdo jugarla de pequeño, tío, es que es increíble. O sea, es una cosa que no se puede comparar a nada. No se puede comparar. Hostia, está bastante bien. Es increíble, tío.
Do you copy? You're already in enemy territory, and somebody might be listening in. From here on out, we'll be using code names to refer to each other. Your code name for this mission will be Naked Snake. I'll be referring to you as Snake from now on. You're not to mention your real name.
Snake?
Oh, you don't like snakes?
What do you mean?
You've eaten one before, haven't you?
In survival training?
I'm glad to hear that.
I don't know if I'd ever order one in a restaurant, but...
Be careful, you might not have a choice.
What about you, Major? What should I call you?
Let's see. I'll be Tom. Call me Major Tom. This will be a sneaking mission. You must not be seen by the enemy. You must leave no trace of your presence. Is that clear? This kind of infiltration is the Fox unit's speciality. In other words, weapons and equipment are procured on site. That goes for food as well. You're completely naked, just as your name implies.
Great. Now I see why you asked me if I like snakes. I suppose calling me Snake was your idea of a joke, too.
No, there's a good reason for that. I'll tell you later when the time is right.
Gotcha. Getting back to the subject, how exactly am I supposed to feed myself?
You've been issued a knife and a tranquilizer gun. Use them to hunt for food. You'll also find some medical supplies in your backpack.
Yeah, about the backpack. I lost it in a tree on the way down.
I see. Well, you'd better go back and get it then. You know where it is?
No problem. I can see it from here. It's stuck on a branch.
To climb a tree, stand in front of a tree that's covered in ivy and press the action button.
Que sí, esto ya lo sé, a mí no me cuentes.
I'll be monitoring your progress over the radio. We can't risk violating Soviet airspace, but I'll be in the gunship. My frequency is 140.85. I'll give you a call if I need to talk to you. If you need to talk to me, use the send function. Okay, Snake, go get your backpack.
Vale, chicos, comenzamos. Aquí estamos. Vale, bastante bien. Chicos, si veis punticos de estos así como de colores, de estos punticos, es por el emulador, ¿vale? Pero no van a aparecer siempre, o sea, no os preocupéis. Vale, pues aquí estamos. Aquí me agacho. Vale. Círculo pego. El cuadrado será para ahogar, seguramente. R1 primera persona. Vale. Pues vamos allá, por la mochila. Vale, vamos allá. Vale, el botón de acción es el triángulo. Espacio. Cuélgate. No, hombre, pero cuélgate, melón. ¿Por qué no te has colgado? Ahí, en el triángulo también se cuelga uno. Vale, vale.
I see you've retrieved your backpack, Snake. To equip a weapon, it's necessary to take it out of your backpack. In the survival viewer, choose Weapon from the backpack. Your available weapons will be displayed in a window in the upper left. From that list, choose the weapon you want to equip and press the Enter button. For other equipped items, just do the same thing from Item.
Got it. Use the survival viewer backpack.
Yep, that's right. Survival is fundamental to this mission. After you've been out in the field for a while, your stamina will start to drop. If your stamina gets too low, it'll affect your performance. You won't be able to shoot accurately, for example, and your wounds won't heal as smoothly. Keep an eye on your stamina so you don't run out. To recover lost stamina, you can hunt for local flora and fauna. You can use either your tranquilizer gun or your knife to hunt.
My only weapon is a Mark 22 Hush Puppy tranquilizer gun?
That's right. It's been fitted with its own suppressor. However, the suppressor will deteriorate every time you fire. Once its durability reaches 0, the noise suppression effect will be gone. So don't get too trigger-happy with it. The suppressor's durability is shown in the icon. Any weapons and equipment beyond what you're carrying now, you'll have to find as you go.
I have to find my own weapons and equipment? Whose crazy idea was this anyway?
Solo covert actions are standard Fox operating procedure. You can't leave any traces of your presence. No weapons, equipment, footprints, sweat, or bodily waste. The same goes for bullets and cartridges, too. Your presence in enemy territory is already a violation of international conventions of warfare. There aren't supposed to be any American soldiers in Russia. It could spark an international incident. You can't let anyone see you. You can't let the enemy know you're there. This is a stealth mission. You're a ghost, Snake, in every sense of the word. And there'll be no rescue if you're captured. The military and US government will deny any involvement in the affair.
Then I'll just have to take care of myself, huh?
I'm afraid so. You've been given a fake death pill for that purpose. SIS guidelines stipulate that soldiers on covert ops like this one be issued a potassium cyanide capsule. Tape it to your body so you can take it when you need to.
How generous of you.
Use it if you're taken prisoner by the enemy. It'll send you into a state of false death for a short time.
Fooling them into thinking that I'm really dead.
No me acordaba de
So
esto,
how do I
de-
come back to life?
de la
Just
muerte
take
falsa.
the revival pill.
You mean that thing they put in my tooth before the mission?
That's the one. But be careful. If you remain in a state of false death for too long, nothing will be able to bring you back. Remember that.
Joder.
I'll keep it in mind. You said this was a solo mission, right?
Right.
I guess that means I can't count on any reinforcements.
Correct. The mission rests entirely in your hands.
A real one-man army.
Relax. There's a support team ready to back you up over the radio.
Who?
I'll introduce them to you. This time, survival is of utmost importance. The first member of the support team will be in charge of monitoring your physical condition, acting as a medic, so to speak, as well as recording your mission data. She's a member of Fox as well, and she's here on the gunship with me.
She.
Hello, Snake. I'm paramedic. Nice to meet you.
Paramedic.
As in a medic who comes in by parachute.
Aren't you going to tell me your real name?
Are you going to tell me yours, Mr. Snake?
My name, huh? It's John Doe.
And they call you Jack for short. You're a regular Captain Nemo.
A name means nothing on the battlefield. After a week, no one has a name. What's your name?
Jane Doe.
Very funny.
I wasn't joking, but I'll tell you my name only if you manage to make it back alive. My frequency is 145.73.
She's also
Qué
in charge
tío,
of
el
recording
Snake.
your mission data. Whenever you want to save, send a message over the reserved save frequency, 140.96.
So saving lets me record my mission data.
That's right. It also records the state of your health.
Good to know.
There's one more person I want to introduce you to, Snake.
Huh?
Speaking of snakes, you remember the boss, don't you? A legendary soldier and your mentor. Actually, it was the boss that got the DCI's authorization in the first place. She's going to be serving as Fox's mission advisor.
Boss is?
She also helped me plan this mission. She and I were at SAS together.
Jack, is that you? How many years has it been?
Hostia.
Boss?
That's right. It's me.
Esta me acuerdo, ¿eh?
Talk to me. Let me hear your voice.
It's been 5 years, 72 days, and 18 hours.
Lo tiene calculadísimo.
You've lost weight.
You can tell just by the sound of my voice.
Of course I can. I know all about you.
Really? Well, I don't know anything about you.
What's that supposed to mean?
Why'd you disappear on me all of a sudden?
I was on a top-secret mission. You didn't need me anymore.
But there were still so many things I wanted you to teach me.
Muchas gracias, Barablock98 por seguirme, tío. Un saludo, espero que te guste el streaming.
About fighting techniques. I taught you all I could. The rest you needed to learn on your own.
Techniques, sure. But what about how to think like a soldier?
How to think like a soldier? I can't teach you that. A soldier needs to be strong in spirit, body, and technique. And the only thing you can learn from someone else is technique. In fact, technique doesn't even matter. What's most important is spirit. Spirit and body are like two sides of a single coin. They're the same thing. I can't teach you how to think. You'll just have to figure it out for yourself. Listen to me, Jack. Just because soldiers are on the same side right now doesn't mean they always will be. Having personal feelings about your comrades is one of the worst sins you can commit. Politics determine who you face on the battlefield. And politics are a living thing. They change along with the times. Yesterday's good might be tomorrow's evil.
Is that why you abandoned me?
No, it had nothing to do with you. I already
Sí, claro, lo jugué de pequeño, solo que no recuerdo absolutamente nada. Lo he dicho antes al comienzo del stream.
It's not his place to question why, but you're looking for a reason to fight.
El 2 sí que me lo sé de memoria, o sea, porque le di muchísima caña. El 4 también. Pero el 3, el 5 y el Peace Walker, ni idea. Sí, claro, supongo que tú vienes después de que lo dijera, sí, claro.
You follow the orders you're given. That's what being a soldier is.
I do whatever I have.
Estamos en el principio, acabo de empezar hace nada media horita.
I don't think about politics.
Estoy poniendo todo porque quiero ver todas las cinemáticas, porque de pequeño me saltaba absolutamente todo. Como un idiota, pues ahí
You
está.
have to choose whether you're going to live as a soldier or just another man with a gun. There's a saying in the Orient, loyalty to the end. Do you know what it means?
Being patriotic.
It means devoting yourself to your country.
I follow the president and the top brass. I'm ready to die for them if necessary.
The president and the top brass won't be there forever. Once their terms are up, others will take their place.
I follow the will of the leader, no matter who's in charge.
Efectivamente, yo eso me pasó con el 2, porque el 3 me pasé solo una vez, o como mucho 2, pero una vez fijo.
People's values change over time,
Efectivamente.
and so do the leaders of a country. So there's no such thing as an enemy in
Como Metal
absolute
Gear,
terms.
no hay ninguna
The enemies we
saga,
fight
es que
are only
brutal.
enemies
Para
in
mí
relative
es
terms,
la mejor de la
constantly
historia. Para
changing
mí,
with the times. As long
el
as we
personaje
have
de Snake
loyalty
es
to the end,
increíble, o sea.
there's no point in believing in anything, even in those we love.
And that's the way a soldier's supposed to think.
The only thing we can believe in with
Pues mira, estoy
absolute
jugando en un
certainty
emulador de PC
is
de
the
PlayStation
mission,
2,
Jack.
solo que he intentado mejorar los gráficos para que se vea un poquito mejor y sea más agradable a la hora de ver el stream.
Oh, right.
Y
Your
bueno,
code
bastante
name is
bien. A veces
Snake.
laguea un poquito en
It suits
cinemáticas,
you well.
pero nada
That's
mal.
right. The legendary unit that the boss put together during World War II was a snake. The Cobra unit, a group of heroes that brought the war to an end and saved the world. As long as you've got a legendary hero backing you up, you'll be fine. Isn't that right, Snake?
Yeah. I can't think of anyone else I'd rather have with me. Oh, and one more thing, boss.
Yes,
It's good to hear your voice again.
same here. After all, who knows if either of us will make it out alive? Snake, you are always best at urban warfare and infiltrating buildings. But this is the jungle. Survival is going to be key. Those CQC techniques I taught you are sure to come in handy.
CQC. Close quarters combat, huh? I've been in the Green Berets for the past few years. I'm
No
probably
recuerdo muy bien
rusty.
cómo era para
Not
coger a alguien por el cuello,
I'll be here to help you remember.
No sé si al
After all,
cuadrado,
this is
o
your
manteniendo el
first
pulsado,
actual survival
o
mission.
spameándolo muchas
I'll be
veces.
supporting
No
you
tengo
over
ni
the
idea.
radio.
Where are you, boss? Next to the major?
The boss is communicating with us by radio from aboard a Permit-class submarine in the Arctic Ocean.
My frequency is 141.80. Call me if you need my advice on battle techniques.
Gotcha.
Your mission is to retrieve Dr. Sokolov.
Claro.
Dr. Sokolov is being held in an abandoned factory located to the north of your current position. Avoid heavy combat and don't let anyone see you. Don't forget, that this is a stealth mission.
Buah, el 1 es increíble, tío. El 1 es increíble, no me extraña. El 3, como no me acuerdo mucho, pues mira, voy a intentar jugarlos en orden cronológico. Porque así me entero un poco de la vaina, ¿sabes? Jugar el 3, luego el Pace Walker, luego la parte esta que salió antes del 5, el 5, el 1, el 2, el 4 y el Rising. Supongo que haré eso. Si puedo, claro, porque como no sé mucho de emuladores y este rollo, pues si puedo, pues lo haré. Vale, pues estamos aquí ya. Tenemos que ir a por Sokolov. Vamos a ponernos aquí esto. Vale. Aquí igual tenemos peña ya, ¿eh? Qué locura el juego este. Empieza una cosa llamada PC, ¿no? Para PC. Creo que te trae muchos Metal Gear, para que sepas. Lo descubrí el otro día. Ah, ¿sí? Ah, pero lo del PlayStation Now es lo de... Lo del PlayStation Now es lo de Sony, ¿no? Lo que tiene la Play 4. Bueno, y Play 5 ahora mismo. Claro, claro, claro. Oye, pues le echaré un vistazo, claro. Se jugará mediante streaming, supongo, ¿verdad? Vale, va a apuntar. Vale. Vamos a hacer esto así. Vale, tendremos que ir por allí. Hijo de su prima. Vale, podría cargarme un caimán de estos, pero mejor no, porque es que si no estoy una hora con el cuchillo. Vale, aquí tengo un bichito. Una serpiente. No sé, comida no me preocupa mucho, la verdad. Pues mira, tío, gracias, lo miraré lo del PlayStation Now, la verdad. Le echaré un vistazo. Pero sí, estoy rescalando los gráficos de Play 2 y mira, no se ve nada mal. Se ve bastante bien. Se lo he puesto a 1080 para forzarlo y mira. Es el PCSX2 o algo así se llama, no lo tengo muy claro.
Major, I've spotted 2 enemy soldiers.
They're probably KGB troops sent to guard Sokolov.
AK-47s.
Sí, un poquito borroso sí que se ve. Es por culpa de que lo estoy rescalando, ¿sabes? Y lo estoy forzando de que se vea un poco mejor.
Snake, your presence in Soviet territory is
Igual
already
que
a
tiene un
violation
poco
of
de errores
international law.
de...
You can't
A
let the
veces se
Kremlin find out
ralentiza
the
y tal, pero
CIA
bueno,
and the
mientras no sea muy
American
molesto,
government are involved. Contact with the
no sé,
enemy
supongo
is strictly prohibited.
que si no hay
Don't
mucho problema lo
engage them in
dejaré así.
battle either. This is a stealth mission.
Eso sí, miraré lo del PlayStation
Got that?
Now, ¿eh?
The Major is right. The point of this mission is to sneak through the jungle without being seen. The success of the mission depends on how well you use your camouflage. Change your camouflage by selecting Camouflage from the
Ah, sí, esto
survival
sí lo sé,
viewer.
que te puedes cambiar de
The
traje, es
uniform
verdad.
option lets you pick your uniform, while the face option lets you change your face paint. Choosing camouflage that blends in with your surroundings will help you conceal yourself more effectively. Also, don't forget that anything that moves will stand out in the jungle. If you just stand up and run around like an idiot, you're bound to be spotted. But if you crawl instead, you should be able to sneak by without being noticed. You can see how effective your camouflage is by looking at the camo index. The camo index shows how well your current camouflage blends in with the surrounding area. The higher the value, the harder you are to spot, and vice versa. The key is to make yourself one with nature. Keep that in mind as you go along, okay?
Muy bien. Snake, el hombre que en vez de coger una K-47 de un enemigo que mata, prefiere matar a un boss para que le dé una llave y tener que buscar una K-47 en caja. Exactamente. Ese es Snake. Es increíble, tío. O sea, es que son unos juegos... Vale, ahí tenemos el primer tipo. Vale, vamos a apuntar. Vale, vamos a cambiarnos el camuflaje. A ver si tenemos... Mierda, le di a la X. Vale, cara. Mira, tenemos esta más 5. Uniforme. Mira, más 30. Y quieras o no, pues algo mejor estaremos. Vale. Aquí tenemos uno dormido. Tenemos otro justo delante. Me lo voy a cargar a este, ¿eh? Hombre, este no se levanta de aquí ya. Uy. Malditos controles, tú. ¿No se muere o qué? Pero bueno. Pero es durísimo. Vale, ya está. Vale. Vamos a darle a este hombre. A ver si apunto bien. Ahí, perfecto. Vale, vamos a cogerlo. Vale, es de la pistolica. Ya te digo, tío, lo de la X en... Sí, es que el Kojima y Konami se le va la pinza, tío, con estas cosas. O sea, madre de Dios. Vale, ahí me puedo subir. ¿Aquí hay algo? Parece que no. Vale, creo que no hay nadie más por aquí. ¡Hostia! Es que sea cabrón. Joder, qué malo soy. Mierda. Vale. Vale, perfecto, chicos, lo tenemos. Voy a cargármelo. No hace falta que me lo cargue, pero bueno. Me hace ilusión. Pero si estoy dando la putísima cabeza. Estoy dando la putísima cabeza y no lo mato. Es increíble. Vale, ya está. Deja la cabeza bien morada. Si los matas agachado es más rápido. Ah, claro, porque hace la acción de... Vale, sí, ahora le daré. Vale, es verdad, porque hacía ya la animación. A ver, voy a intentar como tú me dices. Claro, porque le hago más DPS. Vaya por Dios. Claro, mira, sí señor, muy buena, tío, sí señor. Bien dicho. Bien dicho, tío. Mira, granada de humo. Vale. Yo creo que podemos irnos ya, ¿eh? ¡Hostia! Voy a intentar ahogar a este hombre, ¿eh? No me acuerdo de cuál es el botón. No me acuerdo cuál es el botón, pero me va a putísimo reventar. No me acordaba de la... esta. Es que no me hagaba el personaje, no sé por qué, tío. ¿Cómo me acojoné, macho? ¿Cómo me ha acojonado? Madre de Dios. Vale, pues ahora sí que nos vamos, ¿eh? Hostia. Dolinobotno. Vaya nombres, tú. Vaya nombres. Creo que se agarra. Es que no recuerdo el botón, tío. Yo apreté triángulo y cuadrado ahora, pero no agarraba, no sé por qué. Con el con el que agarro. Con el cuadrado. Puede ser. Probaré de nuevo. ¿Cómo voy a disparar a las abejas ahora, eh? Vale, ahí está el tipo. Y el panel será este, supongo. Ah, ¿no? Ah, es eso, lo de las abejas. Ahora sí. Quiero ver eso. Mira cómo corren. Y corren agachados, ¿sabes? Yo que disparaba a las cuerdas del puente. ¿Cómo? Espera, voy a quitarle el silenciador. A ver. ¡Hostia! Pero tú, ¿qué? Tú, pero que si no, no puedo pasar. Me cago en la puta. Mira, eso no lo sabía. Buen detalle, hostia. Para ser un juego viejo, que tenga estas cosas, tío. Hostia. Sube para arriba. ¿Cómo se sube? ¿Cómo se sube? ¿Cómo se sube? Pero bueno. ¡No te sueltes, inútil! Bastante bien, la primera muerte. Bastante fresca. Es increíble. Yo de verdad... Eso también me pasa mucho. Joder. No me extraña. Voy a disparar a esto que había disparado antes. Era como una papaya. No sé dónde está. Nada, da igual. Vale, voy a intentar ir por el medio sin prisa, ¿vale? Para no caerme otra vez. Vale. Es que como que te impulsa el viento. ¿Te imaginas matar a un soldado para que salve el mundo y se tire por un puente? La verdad que sí. Ya no me sorprende nada. Vale, creo que llegamos a la zona de Sokolov. Que me dejé algo atrás. Pues vuelvo, ¿eh? ¿Qué me he dejado? Es que no me he dado cuenta. Un arma, vale, pues ahora... Ahora iré para atrás cuando pase la cinemática. Voy a echar un vistazo.
Major, I've reached the abandoned factory where Sokolov is supposedly being held. This place is a dump.
Si aquí recuerdo que había que ir a por un tipo...
I can't see Sokolov from
Sí,
here.
mira, Sokolov.
The security is pretty tight. There are sentries posted around the perimeter. I wonder how many are inside.
Your objective, Sokolov, is inside the factory. They should be holding him in a room in the northeast section.
Northeast section. Got it.
Be careful. Your mission is to bring Sokolov back alive. He must not be exposed to any kind of danger. Do not approach Sokolov while in the alert phase.
Right.
Oh, and one more thing, Snake.
You mean there's more?
No, it's just that when you get to Sokolov, I want you to tell him something from me.
And that is?
Sorry for being so late.
Is that all?
Joder.
Yes.
Menudo explícito.
Understood. Beginning my approach to the target.
Vale, pues voy a ir hacia atrás para ver si está el arma esta que me has dicho. Voy a ver si echo un vistazo y lo miro. Supongo que será justo al pasar el puente, ¿no? Creo que sí. Solo que aquí habrá soldados ahora, claro. Hostia, tú. ¡Hostia! Joder, me fui para atrás. Me cago en... Debajo del puente. Buah, tú, pero me voy a caer otra vez, ¿eh? Ahora verás dos caminos. Vete al de la derecha. Vale. Hostia, es que están ahí, tú. Mierda. ¡No!
HQ respond.
Que te calles.
What's going on?
Me voy a la derecha. Por aquí. ¡Hostia! Tienes razón, tío, que hay un camino. ¡Míralo! ¡Hostia! No. Me voy a caer y lo sabes, ¿eh? ¿Cómo me voy a caer, ¿Cómo me voy a caer? Porque no sé el botón de... Ah, triángulo, vale, bien. Sujétala en primera persona y apunta con el botón L1 desde el hombro atrás. Vale. Vale, pues muchas gracias, tío, joder. Este no lo sabía, te lo prometo. No tenía ni idea. Vale, tenemos un tipo ahí. Vamos a equiparnos el arma esta. Hostia, encima una metralleta, tú. Una M16. Y a ver qué tenemos por aquí. Joder, pues de primero es una M16. Madre de Dios. Madre que me parió. Inútil.
Come in, HQ.
This is HQ.
Patrol here. The enemy is
¿Qué hace el
attacking from
personaje?
unknown
Los
position.
controles, no puedo.
Begin the alert status.
Gilipollas, me voy.
What's going on? Respond.
Me encanta este juego, tío, te lo juro.
There's something wrong. Support unit.
Increíble. Vale, estamos donde Sokolov, ¿no? Ahora, otra vez. Vale, vamos a coger el arma esta. No puedo fallar balas, ¿eh? No puedo fallar balas. Vale, van dos. ¿Habrá más? Supongo que sí, ¿no? Si no sería muy fácil. Vale. Pero bueno. Vale, uno muerto. Por aquí habrá... ¡Hostia! No te vayas, cabrón. Que tenía tiro. Ya te digo, tío. Le reventé, vamos, como si no hubiera un mañana. Fracasé a saco. ¡Oh, oh! No, 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 no. No me veas, no me veas. No sé quién me ha visto. Me cago en la mar. Es que esto es la polla. Es que los controles y la madre que me parió.
This is HQ.
Freeze.
Vale, bien de atrás creo, Sí. Tengo que esconderme donde sea, tú, que me van a reventar. Tengo que esconderme. ¡Hostia! Joder, me cago en todo, si no hay que parir. Tengo que curarme. También puedo usar la muerte falsa, ¿eh? No, ¿qué haces? Quita esto. Idiota. Vale. Esta es la puerta. Por aquí. Vale, aquí igual no me ven, Joder, la madre que me parió. Que me cambie el radar, me dices. Vale, ahora cuando salga de aquí. A ver, me tengo que curar. Muerte falsa. ¡Yo estoy muerto! Colega, pírate que estoy muerto. Pírate que estoy muerto. ¡Uy, qué bien! ¿Por qué no me ha funcionado muerte falsa? Pastilla de muerte falsa. Desarrollada por la CIA. Esta pastilla te hace pasar por muerto temporalmente. Pulsa el botón círculo para usar. ¿Cómo la he liado, O sea... ¡Uy! Pero que no lo dispares. Tienes que usar luego el diente. Me cago en la madre. Mira que lo leí antes, Venga, ahora sigilo. Antes la cagué y no puede ser. Entre los controles, tú, que me pongo nervioso porque son súper raros. No recordaba estos controles tan... Vale. O sea, teníamos uno por ahí y otro por la derecha, que es el que nos vio. Mira, este vamos a darle ya, candela. ¡No, no! ¿Pero quién me vio ahora? ¿Quién me ha visto? A ver si lo veo. Y le pego un tiraco. A ver si viene a despertarle o algo. Estaría bastante bien eso, la verdad. Vale, aquí no hay nadie. Vale, tenemos el tipo ahí, Vale, dormidísimo está el cabrón. Dormidísimo, tío. Vale. Lo tenemos, creo que están todos, Vale, nos vamos entonces a... Era aquí, ¿no? Lo de Sokolov. Había una puerta antes aquí. Vale, puta madre, tío. Sí, señor. Vale, vale. Vienen cinemáticas. Espero que no se crashe. Míralo. Es verdad, me acuerdo de este tipo.
You must be Sokolov.
Are you one of Volkin's men? You'll never get it from me.
No. I'm a CIA agent. I've come to escort you back to the other side of the Iron Curtain.
You're CIA?
Yeah. I was sent by Major Zero, the man who got you out 2 years ago.
Zero?
I have a message from him.
What is it?
He said to tell you sorry for being so late.
Did he now?
What does it mean?
It means he's a man of his word. But we've got no time for this. You have to get me out of here before they arrive.
Who's they?
Colonel Volgin of Gru. You in the West know him as Thunderbolt.
Thunderbolt? Never heard of him.
He's a member of the Army's extremist faction, a man who seeks to seize control of the motherland. Ever since the Cuban Missile Crisis 2 years ago, Khrushchev has been pursuing a policy of peaceful coexistence with the West. Despite resistance and criticism from hawks in the army and the provincial authorities, Khrushchev has managed to suppress the opposition so far. But the failure of his agricultural policies has put him in a precarious position. And on top of that, the tragedy last November.
President Kennedy's assassination.
Bueno.
Precisely. In a sense, Khrushchev has lost his biggest partner, and his power base is rapidly crumbling away. A certain group is plotting to use this opportunity to seize power by rallying the anti-government forces, overthrowing Khrushchev, and installing Brezhnev and Kosygin in his place. The mastermind behind this plot is Colonel Volgin of the Gru. He has control over another secret weapons research facility much like this one, OKB-812, known as the Granin Design Bureau, and is using it to further his plans. But that is not enough to satisfy him. Now he's plotting to seize the secret weapon I have been developing here and use it as leverage in his bid for power.
No me acuerdo, tío, quién era
The intelligence says that they are going to make their move during the test.
Then, the soldiers
Me acuerdo solo de la
outside.
chiquilla esta, de la de boss. Solo me acuerdo de esta, no me acuerdo nada más.
Exactly.
Y del
They
revólver.
wouldn't need that many
Me dio
men
celos.
just to keep me inside. Their orders were to prevent Colonel Volgin from capturing me. Even if it meant killing me in the process, or so it would seem. Volgin will come. I'm sure of it. You must get me out of here before then.
Leave it to me.
By the way, your Russian is superb. Where did you learn to speak it?
From my mentor.
Is that so? America's truly a frightening country.
Mira, ahí se ha ralentizado.
Having second thoughts.
No. I have no love for this place. Let's go.
Ya te digo. El tío no tiene... El tío para tener prisa por pirarse no se calla. Sí, es que...
Major,
Aquí las
this is Snake.
cinemáticas, vamos.
Sokolov is safe with me. He's doing fine. No injuries.
Good work, Snake. Now hurry up and get Sokolov to the recovery point. We'll rendezvous with you there.
Roger.
What about the sentries?
I had to kill them. There was no other way. But no one will know we were involved.
I see.
What about the boss?
We lost contact with the boss some time ago.
What happened?
It's probably just a weak signal. Just hurry and get Sokolov out of there.
Sí, claro, sí, jugué el 2, el 4, son increíbles, tío, esos dos son los que más jugué, o sea, porque el 3 se me fastidió el disco y por eso no pude disfrutarlo mucho. Pero el 2 y el 4 le di una cañísima. Luego el 5 me enfadé un montón y no lo jugué y le di 3 oportunidades porque no me convenció mucho. Porque para mí eso no era... Tengo que jugarlo otra vez. Pues mira, el 4, tío, te iba... Vamos. De verdad, ¿eh? Te iba a molar un montón. Si tienes la oportunidad, tío, o sea, júgatelo. Sí, vuelven a Sadomonse, sí. Pero aparte de eso es que tiene una historia muy buena. Me pasé como... yo qué sé, tío. Me intentaba pasar la historia cada vez más rápido y todo. O sea, me dio un vicio. Hostia.
So this is the legendary boss.
Madre mía, ¿quién aparece aquí? El señor Ocelot. Con una pistolica nos viene.
You're from the Ocelot unit of Spetsnaz. Huh. What's a GRU soldier doing here?
Soldier?
He's the Ocelot commander.
That's Major
¿Sabes
Ocelot.
que no es el mismo Snake el 3 que el del 1? No, sí, claro.
Don't you forget it.
Yo os confundí XD. Sí, claro, sí, no, lo sé.
Sokolov is ours. Now get out of here.
An Ocelot never lets his prey escape.
What?
Sí, 1, 2 y 4 es el mismo personaje. 1, 2 y 4. Luego está Raiden, que es en el Rising. El Rising es el último. Porque el Metal Gear Survive, eso no es un Metal Gear, eso es un insulto para la saga. Eso es por el nombre. Mira el Ocelot como se las gasta el tipo. Ya marcaba maneras, el tío.
I can't say it feels good to kill a comrade, even if it is for the GRU.
Sokolov, take cover.
Huh. You're not the boss, are you?
Joder. Bueno, huevo. ¿Qué cojones?
GRU operatives?
What is that stance? Huh. That gun. If you're not the boss, then die.
Parece que han cambiado las tornas. Joder, el Sokolov, menudo cagado, colega.
Leave it. Shoot the other one. Whoa!
¿Qué pensabas que era tu Snake, Snake es Snake. Coño, ¿y eso? ¿Quién le dispara? Joder, cómo te está putísimo reventando, colegas. No te está metiendo una. ¿Qué pa' qué?
You ejected the first bullet by hand, didn't you? I see what you were trying to do.
Me hace mucha gracia,
But
no
testing
puedo.
a technique you've only heard about in the middle of battle wasn't very smart. You were asking to have your gun jam on you. Besides, I don't think you're cut out for an automatic in the first place. You tend to twist your elbow to absorb the recoil. That's more of a revolver technique.
You filthy American dog!
Joder, cómo te está poniendo. Es una cosa maravillosa. Ahí
But that
tenéis.
was some fancy shooting. You're pretty good.
¿Cómo se ríe el puto Snake, tío?
Good.
Bastante bueno, dice. Dice, tío, de verdad. No puedo con este juego. Me encanta, tío. Es increíble, tío. Qué maravilla.
Major, do you read me?
I read you. Snake, you alright?
I've run into a few snags. These guys were after Sokolov too. Apparently they were taking orders from a GRU colonel named Volgan.
A GRU colonel?
Part of an internal Soviet power struggle, according to Sokolov. Something between the KGB and GRU. Between Khrushchev's supporters and Volgan's.
Sokolov was being guarded by the KGB and hunted by GRU? Snake, it sounds like this could be even hotter than Cuba.
I don't like it. Something about the whole thing stinks.
I agree. You'd better hurry.
Sokolov ran off by himself, but I'll catch up to him.
We're counting on you.
Vale, pues ya está, chicos. Ya pasamos la zona esta de aquí. A ver si nos da algo este hombre. ¿Me lo puedo cargar al Ocelot? Pero claro, si me cargaba al Ocelot no tiene mucho sentido porque es el mismo que sale en toda la saga. No sé, bueno, vamos a dejarlo así por si acaso tenemos que reiniciar o algo. Vale, vamos a investigar a ver si tenemos algo por aquí que nos hayamos dejado. Mira, por aquí tenemos medicina. Provida. Aquí seguramente haya algo. O sea, este hombre no habrá vivido del aire, ¿no? Supongo. Este es como el 2. ¿Y debajo de aquí hay algo? No, no hay nada. Vale. Vale. No tenemos nada por aquí. Vamos a subir arriba. Aquí a estas escaleras de aquí que tenemos. A ver si tenemos algo más. Mira. Balas de no sé qué. Mira. M37, cañón de 12 balas. Tiene pinta de que esto sea cañón de 12 balas o una pistola o una escopeta. Pero tiene más nombre de escopeta antes que una pistola. Es verdad, por aquí me podía meter y por debajo, pero solo hay comida, o sea, no creo que... Aunque nos hace falta comida, ¿eh? También. Porque no sé hasta qué punto tenemos comida y no tenemos. A ver. Sí, nada, aquí simplemente hay ratones y estas cosas que no... Nada, paso. Vale, vámonos al puente. Que Sokolov habrá ido hacia allí. Porque otra salida por aquí no hay. Tenemos 15 de camuflaje. No sé si podremos subirlo un poquito más. Aquí no hay nada. Aquí tampoco. Uy, que voy para atrás. Vale, me he liado. ¿Ah?
You okay? Those men were from the Ocelot unit.
Spetsnaz?
Yes. The best crew has to offer. They're coming for me. I'm finished.
Calm down. I'll get you out of here, I promise. And we've got some of the best backup we could ask for.
Look.
Joder. Hostia, esto que es como el Metal Gear de este juego, ¿no? Vaya bicho.
That's what they were making you build.
Yes. The Shagohod.
Shagohod.
The dreaded
monstruo
behemoth.
bípeda.
A tank capable of launching nuclear IRBMs.
It can launch nuclear missiles from that kind of terrain?
Oh, yes. And without support from friendly
Metal Gear.
units.
A nuclear-equipped tank capable of operating solo. Is that thing finished?
No. This is only the end of Phase 1. It won't be truly finished until we complete Phase 2.
Phase 2?
The weapon's true form. If it is completed and the Colonel gets his hands on it, it will mean the end of the Cold War.
The end of the Cold War?
Yes. And then the Age of Fear will truly begin.
A world war.
I had no choice but to cooperate. I didn't want to die. I wanted to see my wife and child again in America. Please, take me to America, quickly. They cannot complete it without my help.
Got it. Let's go.
Vale. Yo hubiera pasado corriendo, mejor. Antes que ir así súper lento. No sé, Es un cagao este hombre, Bueno, la de boss.
Boss?
Joder, Sokolov, tío.
Good work, Jack.
What are you doing here?
Sokolov comes with me.
Hostia, las abejas, tío, es verdad. Había un bosque. Buah,
Hornets.
horrible. Este tipo, es verdad, colega. Madre mía.
My friends, let us fight together again.
I have waited long for this.
De este no me acuerdo, ¿eh?
We will fight with you once more.
De ese sí, del de las abejas.
Welcome back,
Bueno, este.
boss.
Hostia, qué mal me cae ese
Now
hombre.
that all 5 of us are together, it's time we go to the depths of hell itself. It's raining blood. Is he crying?
Coño. Coño, este
Kuwabara.
Este también me suena un montón. No sé si este es el Volgin que me habían dicho antes, por comentarios. Sí, ¿no?
Ah, what a joyful scene.
Colonel Vogan.
Es Volgin, tú.
Welcome to my country. And to my unit.
Boss, what is this?
I'm defecting to the Soviet Union. Sokolov is a little gift from my new hosts.
Recoilless nuclear warheads. These will make a fine gift for me.
This can't be happening.
Who is he? Another one of your disciples? Are we taking him with us?
No, this one is still just a child. Too pure for us Cobras. He has not yet found an emotion to carry into battle.
Pero bueno.
What are you talking about?
Think you can pull the trigger?
¿Cómo le desarmó el arma? ¿Cómo le desarmó el arma, tío? No te están poniendo el putísimo revés, Snake. Lo siento. Las cosas como son.
He's seen my face. We can't let him live. If Khrushchev finds out about this, we're finished. He must die.
Miedo titán.
Wait. He's my apprentice. I'll take care of him. Jack, you can't come with us.
Joder, es verdad, tío. Pero bueno. Me consta que hizo esto en teoría para salvarnos por las caras que ha puesto la tipa.
The new blood has been rejected.
Pues está como preocupada, ¿no? Es que nos ha dejado el brazo chungo.
Are we done here?
Qué desagradable el bowling.
Now, on to Sokolov's research facility.
Shagohod is ours.
Shagohod era el... Sí, está súper preocupada, hombre,
Drift
mírala.
away.
No dices eso, pero está súper preocupada, hija.
My place is with them now.
No te lo crees ni tú, te vas a arrepentir. ¿Cómo crasea con los aviones esto, Madre mía, estamos un poco jodidos, ¿eh? El brazo. Hostia, que esto ya ha salido en...
Snake, can you hear me?
Yeah. Just barely.
Snake, listen to me. You need emergency medical treatment. Can you move? You've got to get those wounds treated. Hang in there. All right, let's get you fixed up. Paramedic?
Se nota que es un juego más o menos
Okay,
antiguo,
Snake.
tío.
Just
Y esos
relax and
años
it'll
ya.
all be over before you know it. Stay with me. I've seen people in worse shape before. Think you can handle it?
Major. The boss. She's defected.
We'll talk about that later. First, we've got to get you patched up.
Okay, here we go. First, open the survival viewer with the start button.
Coño, lo de curarse.
If you select cure,
Vale,
you can
sí,
start the
es verdad.
treatment. Healing is divided into treatment using medicine with the item window button and surgical treatment using the weapon window button. Your injuries include a fractured left elbow and rib bone, and lacerations on your upper arms, right elbow, and abdomen.
Snake, después de que lo tirasen por
They
un puente
need
de
to be
300
fixed
metros,
using
4 vendas,
surgical treatment.
una
Move the
serpiente.
healing
Estoy
cursor with
joya,
the
sí
left
señor,
analog
tío.
stick to the affected part of your body.
Eso mismo.
Once you've selected the affected
Es un
area,
crack.
hold the weapon window button and use the left analog stick to select the medical item and then press the enter button.
Vale.
With this method, you can use items to help your recovery process. To treat a bone fracture, first secure the affected area with a fastener and then wrap it in bandages. That should do it. For lacerations, you'll need disinfectant to clean the wound, sutures to stitch it up, styptic to slow the flow of blood, and bandages to wrap the wound.
Vale.
If you do everything I mentioned, the wound should heal completely. Understood?
Yeah.
Stay with me. Go into the survival viewer and treat those wounds.
Vale, pues tenemos que curarnos. Aquí estamos en plan mojón. Madre de Dios. Vale. Sufres cortes muy profundos sangrando. No se ha colocado una venda. Todavía no se ha desinfectado. O sea, una venda. Desinfectante. Sufres cortes muy profundos. ¿No? Ahí está, stringe. Cortes muy profundos, nos ha colocado una venda. Vale, lo mismo. Esto no. Ahí está. Sufres cortes muy profundos, sangrado, no se ha colocado una venda. Vale, lo mismo. Era venda, astringe, desinfectante y cuchillo. No, sutura. Vale. Hueso roto, no se ha colocado una venda. Y la tablilla. Sufres cortes muy profundos sangrando. No se ha colocado una venda, no se ha desinfectado. Vale. Era esto, esto. Esto y esto. No, esto no era. Era la venda. La venda. Hueso roto, tablilla. Zona afectada entablillada. Vale. Perfecto. Lo tenemos. 3 vendas, una astringe, 2 tablillas y como 9, tal cual, tío. Tal cual. Míralo, míralo. Está perfectísimo ya. Se ha escuchado eso por toda la selva. Por toda la putísima selva, o sea... Qué curioso, se nos ha quitado el maquillaje con... O sea, lo que teníamos en la cara con el agua. Está muy bien hecho, ¿eh?
Good job, Snake.
We're coming to get you now. Just stay where you are. We'll drop a recovery balloon. Can you set it up?
Por favor. Mira el Shagohod.
Shagohod.
Bueno, antes me pasé un Metal Gear, no creo que sea. No creo que tenemos que matarle al Shagohod este, no sé. Mírala, está súper arrepentida, tío. Igual está para infiltrarse y... Como no me acuerdo, mejor, ¿eh? Así es de primeras. Sí, yo creo que sí que lo hace para infiltrarse en ellos y ayudarnos desde dentro, ¿eh? Mira el tipo este. ¿Cómo lo pusimos, ¿Cómo le pusimos el culo? Hasta que no se lo creen. Joder, vaya misilaco, ¿no?
Excellent. A great success. Thanks to the boss and her cobras, I have both Sokolov and the Shagohod.
Qué tío. No puedo con este personaje, este es muy gracioso, no puedo. No puedo, tío.
What are we going to do with the girl?
Who is she?
Apparently she's Sokolov's woman.
La mujer de Sokolov.
She's a nice catch.
Coño.
I'll take her.
Not so fast, my dear.
Barblock, tío. Lo siento porque te han tirado 300 segundos. Es que tengo puesto lo de que no se spamen cosas por el chat, lo siento. No me había dado cuenta de eso.
A kiss of death.
Lo eliminaré, ¿vale? Lo de... Es que como no lo tengo todo muy bien configurado todavía, pues... Bueno, cuando vuelvas te lo digo. Como no sé mucho del Twitch todavía, pues... Estoy aprendiendo. Ay, pobre hombre, tú que me pasó un enlace a... Nos pulsó aquí el stream de Elements Madre que lo parió.
Perhaps we should. We have no further use for Sokolov's research facility. I think it's time I gave this marvelous new toy.
Oye, ¿y esa descompensación brutal del misil y del arma?
Colonel, even if they are our enemies, they're still our countrymen.
But it won't be me that pulled the trigger. It'll be our friend, the American defector.
You're going to nuke your fellow Russians?
Remember the Alamo.
Colonel!
Madre mía. Joder, menuda bomba provocar eso. Vaya cara el otro, tío, me hace mucha gracia. Bueno, tendremos que ir hacia la cápsula. Joder, la explosión. La madre que te parió. Joder, mira la que han preparado. ¿Guardar datos? Sí, por favor. Vale. Vale, esa es la partida que había probado, así que aquí. Hay que acordarse que es la segunda, ¿vale? Vale, la que tiene más tiempo es la que es, ¿vale? Perfecto. Bueno, chicos, pues después de que pasen estas cinemáticas, lo vamos a ir dejando por aquí. Prólogo. No me acordaba de esto. Qué guapo, tío.
What a fear in my heart, but you're so supreme. I give my life, not for honor, but for you.
Cómo me va a saltar el copyright en todos los sitios, va a ser increíble. Y en YouTube ya verás tú. Vídeo no apto. Pero me da igual. O sea. Cómo se come peces y serpientes.
You go through the rain, and someday you'll feed on a tree frog. It's ordeal, the trial to survive. For the day we see new light, I give my life, not for honor, but for you. In my time, there'll be no one else.
Joder, que bien está yendo todo, tío. El emulador no se corta ni nada, tío.
It's the way I'd like to.
Voy a echar un vistazo a ver cómo se ha visto todo. Hola, Backlog, tío. Que tengo puesto en el chat lo de que no se puede spamear enlaces ni nada de eso, ¿sabes? O sea, como tengo que configurar todo porque no sé cómo... Sí, lo siento, tío, es que lo tengo sin configurar. Lo tengo sin configurar y no... Como son muchas cosas, pues me lío y... En fin. Lo siento, tío. Sí, en cuanto acabe el streaming te mando un privado, ¿vale? Esta canción cara de Bad Bunny. Claro que sí, mucho mejor. Hostia, ahora en el avión igual laguea esto, Una semana después.
Currently flying over the Arctic Ocean, altitude 30,000 feet, approaching Soviet airspace. Arriving at the designated drone launch point. Drone oil pressure and voltage are nominal. Payload oxygen supply is nominal. Power supply to payload antifreeze system shows no problems. No gusts. All systems go for drone detachment.
Snake, we can't risk a halo jump this time around. Airspace security has gotten tighter since we were last here. We can't get as close to the ground as we did during the Virtuous mission. So instead, we'll be using one of our newest weapons. Snake, you'll be given an honor on par with Alan Shepard. This is our last chance. Show your patriotism. If you fail, you'll be back in a hospital bed again, waiting for the
lo miraré, tío. Cuando acabe el streaming le echo un vistazo. Sí, no importa, no pasa nada. Y si es spoiler, bueno, mira, no pasa
nada. So how does it feel to be a patient in one of the most advanced ICUs in the world?
Would you do me a favor and tell the suits about visiting hours? I'll never get better with them assaulting me day and night with their questions.
Must be part of the top brass's inquiry.
More like an interrogation. According to them, I'm a traitor and an accomplice to the boss's defection.
They're just looking for a scapegoat.
Does that mean they're after you, too?
Let's just say neither one of us is going to be made a national hero out of this.
Does this mean Fox is going to die?
No. This fox is still one step ahead of the hounds. The reason I came to see you today, Jack, it's time for Fox to clear its name.
Sí, tío. Eso lo tengo puesto cada 10 minutos o 20 y salta cada media hora. Es una risa esto de Twitch, tío.
Don't get too excited. Here, have a cigar.
Ay, Dios.
It's Cuba.
Qué grande.
This morning, I had a meeting with the CIA.
They decided when they're going to execute us?
No. Something even bigger. Yesterday, the White House received an unexpected call.
President Johnson? Yes, I hear you, Mr. Chairman.
Hostia, presidente con presidente, ojo.
It was a hotline call from Khrushchev to President Johnson.
From the head of the Soviet Union?
That's right.
A few days ago, one of our country's main design bureaus, OKB-754, was destroyed in a nuclear explosion.
Claro, lo que hizo el tipo, el Volkin este.
At about the same time, our anti-aircraft radar picked up a signature that appeared to come from one of your military aircraft. Does any of this sound familiar to you? In retaliation, I have placed our armed forces on secondary alert. Depending on your response, I may be left with no choice but to order the military to maximum alert and unleash Armageddon. With the help of your predecessor, I was able to survive the Cuban incident. But my power is not as great as it once was. If I am to survive this crisis, I must have your full cooperation.
I should have contacted you myself. Did you know that one of our soldiers defected to your country a week ago?
No.
So you haven't heard then. The man who arranged the defection was a GRU colonel by the name of Yevgeny Borosovich Volgin.
Volgin? Of the Brezhnev faction. Go on. Who is the soldier?
Her name is the Boss. She's a living legend. During World War II, she was the one who led us to victory in that war. In Russia, you know her as Voyevoda.
You mean The boss? The mother of your special forces?
Yes, that's the one. And she took 2 miniature nuclear shells along with her.
The boss took 2 miniature nuclear shells?
I'm afraid so. I believe they were a gift for her new hosts. The Davy Crockett Atomic Battle Group delivery system was completed 2 years ago. But serious problems were found with the launcher's range and precision. Although they were mass-produced, they've never been deployed in battle.
But Sokolov's research facility was completely wiped out. The whole area is polluted.
I can only offer you my deepest condolences over this terrible tragedy.
So, the boss, with Colonel Volgin's help, stole 2 experimental nuclear shells and took them with her as gift when she defected. Then, shortly thereafter, Sokolov's design lab, a top-secret military research facility, was destroyed by one of these weapons. Am I right so far?
Yes, that's correct.
And the American government denies any involvement in the affair. Is that right as well?
That's correct. We were not involved in any way.
Then what was a U.S. military aircraft doing on our radar screen? It was clearly in violation of our airspace. And yet you say it was not acting under your orders.
That's correct.
You expect me to believe that this was all the work of a single soldier?
I don't know what else to tell you.
The army insists that this is all a ploy on your part.
I've said it once and I'll say it again. Our government had nothing to do with it.
And I would like dearly to believe you. However, I'm afraid my power over the military has weakened since the Cuban incident. I will need some kind of proof that this was not the action of the American government. You have 1 week. You must catch the boss yourselves and recover the remaining nuclear device. Then, you must find some way to prove your innocence.
Prove our innocence?
Yes, preferably something painful. Prove to me that this is not merely another one of your tricks.
The boss should be close to Colonel Volgin. How about a little coaction?
I would not expect too much if I were you. The political situation here is unstable. And Colonel Volgin is a member of the Brezhnev faction, which seeks to topple my government. 1 week. You have only 1 week, and if it is not too much to ask, do something about Volgin as well.
What is that supposed to mean?
Nothing. It means nothing. Call it a modest gentleman's agreement to ensure our continued relationship.
What if we can't prove our innocence?
Then I will be unable to restrain the military. I will be ousted, and they will seek their revenge.
A nuclear attack on the United States?
I leave the disposal of this situation entirely to your discretion, Mr. President.
Disposal?
If you fail, it will mean the beginning of a new world war.
To put it simply, in order to avoid a full-scale nuclear conflict, we have to prove that America was not involved in that explosion.
And eliminating the boss ourselves will prove America's innocence?
Right. The higher-ups have decided that
tenemos
you're
una
the
semana
only
para
one
matar a Devos
capable of
o
pulling this off.
demostrar una inocencia, que no hayamos sido
You were her last apprentice.
nosotros
Screw
lo que
this
quisimos
one up,
hacer eso.
and we'll
lo
both
del
be
misil.
6 feet under. There's no choice.
Vale.
Are the Russians going to be helping us?
The KGB has promised to lend us one of their communications satellites so that you and I can talk to each other.
That's it?
They've also put us in touch with a couple of insiders.
Insiders?
There was a defection in September 1960. Do you remember it?
You mean the 2 NSA codebreakers who went over to the Soviet Union?
Precisely. Since then, they've apparently been training with the KGB for exactly this kind of situation. Their code names are Adam and Eva. I've been told that Adam has infiltrated Volgin's ranks. We've also arranged for him to provide you with an escape route. You'll need to rendezvous with him when you get there.
allá vamos de nuevo. Hostia, con la cinta en la cabeza.
Control. Unidentified aircraft detected. Altitude 30,000 feet.
Hostia, cómo están controlando los cabrones de los rusos. Pero no, los rusos, ¿no?
It's fast. Estimated airspeed exceeding Mach 3. Bearing south. I'm about to lose it.
Claro, y mientras nosotros pues nos infiltramos, como hay una especie de seguridad. Aquí estamos otra vez. Hombre, con su cinta y todo ahora. Ahora sí. Claro, 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 claro. Sí, estás otra vez en la selva, hijo. Perdido.
This is Snake. Do you read me?
Loud and clear. Glad to see you landed safely.
I got blown pretty far off target.
Snake, let's go over your mission objectives one more time.
No,
Rescue Sokolov. Find out what's happened to the Shagohod, then destroy it. And finally, eliminate the boss.
Hombre, si me lo resumes así,
Eliminate the boss.
te lo compro.
This mission will be codenamed Operation Snake Eater.
Because I'll be taking on the boss in our Cobra unit, right?
Don't forget about Colonel Volgin.
I'm not a hired killer.
¿Cómo voy a reventar a Volgin ese? No
that
puedo
was the
verlo, tío,
Kremlin's
me cae
demand.
supermal.
Demand? You mean it wasn't just a request? What's it to us if the Khrushchev regime is threatened by the Colonel and his faction?
If supporting the current regime helps us avoid a nuclear exchange, then that's what we'll do.
And what are the CIA's demands?
Our priorities are the rescue of Sokolov and the destruction of the Shagohod.
Roger that, Major Tom.
Hold on, Snake.
What now?
I'm changing my codename. It turns out Tom wasn't the most auspicious choice.
What do you mean?
Well, the truth is, when I chose my codename, I picked the wrong one.
The wrong one?
Did you ever see the movie The Great Escape? It came out last year.
I must have missed that one.
Anyway, it's based on a true story about prisoners who escaped from a POW camp in Nazi Germany. The prisoners dig 3 tunnels as part of their plan, but the Nazis find 2 of the tunnels before they're finished. The prisoners succeed in escaping by using the last remaining tunnel. The names of those 3 tunnels were Dick, Harry,
Pero no me
and Tom.
cuentes la película,
I
tío.
get it.
Ay,
You used the
Dios.
name of the tunnel they escaped in as your code name because you thought it would bring you good luck.
Dime cómo
Yes,
que se te llame.
that's exactly right.
Y ya
At least
está.
that was the plan.
But
But I got the name wrong. The one they escaped in was Harry.
Pero venga.
Tom was one of the unlucky tunnels. It was discovered by the Nazis before it was finished. I watched the movie again just to make sure. In fact, I even ordered the actual film from the movie company.
yeah, it doesn't sound like the greatest name to use. So what should I call you?
You know, let's just use Zero, like
Hombre,
we've been doing all
Mayor
along.
Cero, como siempre.
All right, then.
Zero.
Major Zero it is. We'll start over from
Zero.
square one.
From square zero. My frequency is
Venga, Zero, que me tengo que ir.
140.85. Oh, I almost forgot. Paramedic is with us again on this mission.
Is this her last chance too?
If we fail, she'll have her medical license revoked. It's more or less the same kind of fate. Her frequency is the same as during the Virtuous mission, 145.73. She'll be recording your mission data as well, just like the last time. That frequency is also the same, 140.96.
Eso voy a hacer ahora, guardar.
And there's one more person on your support team. His name is Mr. Sigint. He's an expert on the latest in weapons and equipment technology, You'll be going up against some of the world's most advanced weaponry when you infiltrate the research facility. If you have any questions, just ask him. His frequency is 148.41.
Mr. Sigint. Got it.
Adam, your KGB contact, is waiting for you at the abandoned factory up ahead.
The same factory Sokolov was being held in last week.
Yes, meet up with Adam first. He's cleared the way for you to rescue Sokolov.
How'll I know this Adam guy when I see him?
Hola, Kiri.
You'll know once you reach the factory.
Al stream.
The whole area's been polluted by the
Llegas
fallout
justo al final porque me voy a tener que ir ya.
No one else
Pero
would
muchísimas
dare
gracias
come
por
close.
pasarte.
The password
Y
is
nada, el stream otra
Who are the
vez
Patriots?
o por la tarde o mañana, ya.
Lali Lulelo. Gotcha.
You've been equipped with a 45 for this mission. Be careful, it's noisy.
I thought standard Fox procedure was procure on-site weapons acquisition.
The circumstances are different this time. You're now on an official mission for the United States government. It would be necessary to make your presence known to a certain extent, to the Khrushchev regime at the very least. But remember, this is still a sneaking mission. Snake, if you fail this mission, it will mean an all-out nuclear war. Keep that in mind and proceed with extreme
guerra
caution.
mundial. Bueno, nuclear.
Understood.
Que más o menos
Commencing Operation Snake Eater.
comenzando la operación Snake Eater. Pues mira, Kimi, me acabo de pasar justamente el prólogo cuando nos tiran por el puente y ese rollo. Y ahora pues estamos aquí de vuelta en la selva. Y bueno, ya lo dejaremos para mañana porque me tengo que ir. Y eso, chicos, muchísimas gracias a los que os habéis pasado. Voy a abrir aquí para guardar. A ver, memoria, guardar.
Paramedic.
Snake, it's so good to hear from you again.
Que sí, no me cuentes el rollo, tú guárdame. Ahí, guardar. Aquí y en la 2, que era la de más tiempo. Vale. Vale. Perfecto.
Okay, good luck.
Chicos, lo dicho, muchísimas gracias por pasaros por el stream. Mañana estaremos otra vez en directo con este fantástico juego, o hoy por la tarde o por la noche, no tengo ni idea. En fin, nos vemos, chicos. Muchas gracias y hasta luego.